All right, perfect. So welcome everyone to one of our many webinar series for Bike Month, brought to you by SparkView. And so today's webinar will be focusing on the City of Toronto's Vision Zero Road Safety Plan. But before we get into that, let me just quickly explain what is the SparkView program, if this is your first time here. And so basically, SparkView is an initiative here in Ontario where we offer commuting services at workplaces to empower possibilities for how Ontarians commute. And so basically, we operate in many different parts of the province. So in Toronto, York Region, Hamilton, Durham, Halton Region, London, Bruce County, and Greater Sudbury. And so, as I said, June is Bike Month. And so we have a whole bunch of different webinars. So if you go to sparking.ca, we've already had a few webinars already. So all those recordings, talking about bike lanes or about how to cycle more safely, those are available for you. But we do have plenty of more webinars happening throughout the rest of this month. So go check it out on sparking.ca. And as I said in the chat here, so if we'll have one $20 gift card prize for one lucky winner who stays until the end of this webinar. And so we encourage you to stay and watch all of our guest speakers present their topics. And as always, if you go to sparking.ca, log your cycling trips for a chance to win a $50 gift card prize. And so I'm going to go ahead and start. So like always, we start with some poll questions, just to kind of read the room a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that. Oops, sorry, actually, wrong poll. Give me 1 second. Let me send you the right poll, folks. Apologies for that. I don't know. I think they just kind of. Going to go ahead and close the polls now. Thank you all to who have answered it. And yeah, from there. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Adam Sweener. And yeah, Adam, go ahead, take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming to the talk today on our Vision Zero Road Safety Plan. My name is Adam Sweener. I'm a project manager within our Vision Zero projects team. And my presentation today will cover not so much cycling specific work, but overall road safety as it pertains to specifically vulnerable road users. I will try to put a bit of a cycling spin on it today, but if there's any questions, please put them in the chat or ask them at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so to start with, hopefully everyone can see my screen. I won't be able to see the chat. So Jesse, if there's any things that come up, then just let me know. So to start with, I'm going to give land acknowledgement. So while we meet today on a virtual platform, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the land, which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous people and their cultures. We acknowledge the land we're meeting on is a territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. So to start my presentation, I'm going to give an overview of our Vision Zero program. So you can see here in this first graphic, we have the traditional approach to road safety and then the Vision Zero approach on the right. So the Vision Zero approach is a significant departure from the traditional approach to road safety, namely that traffic fatalities are preventable. Humans make mistakes. The roadway system should be designed and operated so those mistakes are not deadly. No serious injuries or loss of life is acceptable. The safety is a shared responsibility between those who design, operate, maintain, and use the road, and developing a proactive and systematic prioritization so we're not reactive to collisions, or and that we can proactively address them before they happen. So here I have a slide showing how we will achieve Vision Zero. So this is through all of our different partners. So we have the partners on the bottom, which include our Toronto Transit Commission, the local school boards, Toronto Police Services, and Toronto Public Health, and then various measures that I'll go at today. Today's presentation will focus more on the engineering safety measures and some education measures that we've taken. And then we rely on our partners in Toronto Police for elements such as enforcement. And then we will do post-evaluation, which I will go over in my presentation. So to start with, you can see here I have two graphs. The graph on the left shows all collisions by mode in 2023. You can see here that the graph showing auto collisions is significantly higher than those involving pedestrians, cyclists, or motorcyclists. If we move to the graph on the right, this is the killed or seriously injured collisions. And this shows why in our work we focus on the killed or seriously injured collisions, which I'll refer to as KSIs in this presentation. And you can see that while there is an overrepresentation of auto collisions across all collision types, once you move over to KSIs, now you have pedestrians as the largest group. Cyclists is a much bigger group, so that this shifts our focus away from preventing and focusing on those collisions that result in a killed or seriously injured outcome. So this is done through data-driven decision making. So to start with, we have micro models. So here we have a corner radii adjustment. And this was a near miss conflict analysis that was assessed before and after this corner was updated. So you can see here on the left, there was 58 near misses at Davenport and Christie for right turn conflicts as pedestrians are crossing the street. You can see when we updated that corner radii, so so vehicles now make slower turns to navigate around that corner. There was 11 near misses, and this also shortens the crossing distance for pedestrians as they cross the street. We also have data-driven decision-making at the macro level. So here we have our mid-block model, and this assesses all mid-blocks on roads classified as a collector and above, so all of the collectors and arterials throughout the city. And this takes a lot of data input, such as the census data, length of the mid-block, presence of TTC bus stops, number of streetlights, vehicle travel speed, and all of this factors into what causes or areas that have KSI collisions. What are the factors involved in that? So this is part of our proactive identification of where may we see KSIs in the future, and what can we do to make certain corridors safer before we have those KSI collisions. And this is a citywide model that could then feed into what I went over on the previous slide, such as the radii reduction. And that would be on an individual basis at the micro level after looking at the macro picture citywide. Here, I have a slide showing our trends in fatal collisions. So we had a relatively steady decline leading up to 2011, and then fatalities began to increase starting in about 2012. And then in 2016, that was the worst year, and that was the onset of the Vision Zero road safety plan. So the very first Vision Zero road safety plan was approved by Council in 2016. And here's the same slide showing serious injuries. And then as well, just to look back to what I mentioned before, I have this slide. This was from our last fall, our council report on an update to our Vision Zero plan. This was a slide that was included showing the history of killed or seriously injured collisions going back to 2000 to 2024. So you can see here that steady decline until we got to about 2011, 2012, and then that increase leading up to the onset of the plan. On the bottom, the black are the killed, and then the gray are the seriously injured collisions. And then the line on the top is the trend line showing that we are trending in the right direction, but still have lots of work to go. Here we have the growth of our Vision Zero plan since the first Vision Zero road safety plan approval in 2016. So you can see here that both an increase in the budget that council has approved for us as part of this plan, but also all the different elements that we've been introducing as this program has matured and expanded. So I won't go through all of these one by one. Certain parts of our plan I will focus on as part of my presentation, but this is just to give you an overall picture of what is included in our Vision Zero road safety plan and how it has grown over the years and will continue to grow. So next, one of the biggest things is speed and the problem we have with speed. So this graph here shows likelihood of a fatality ranging from 30 kilometers an hour, where we are posting all of our local roads, up to 70 kilometers an hour. And going from a 10% likelihood of fatality to a 100% likelihood of fatality. So slowing vehicles on our roads is a primary measure that we take as part of our Vision Zero road safety plan. And you can see on the bottom that well-arterial roads, so these are the main thoroughfare. Primary function is to move people throughout the city, such as roads like Bloor or University. They make up 21% of our roads, but they make up the 83% of our killed or seriously injured collisions. So you can see here in graph form, we have arterial roadways, and in the blue is the kilometers of roadway for each type, and then the line is the number of fatal collisions. So you can see here that arterial roads are way overrepresented when it comes to fatal collisions, and so they are our focus when it comes to countermeasures implemented on our roads, as well as measures to reduce those travel speeds. And as part of our work to prioritize safety, we do look at where collisions are happening and the frequency of those collisions. And this influences the countermeasures we prioritize and the work we do to enhance safety. So here is a graphic again that was included in our fall staff report showing where people on bikes are having KSIs at intersections. As you can see here, the likelihood of collisions at each one, that these numbers are rounded. So if you add them up, they will not equal 100. Just to highlight that. And then we have cyclists being hit at intersections and mid blocks. So this shows where the highest risk is and where we should be putting our priority when it comes to enhancing safety on our roads. These again, we have a 2024 Vision Zero update that's on the homepage of our website. So if you did want to look at these graphics in more detail, you can pull that up. So one of the main things is high risk mid-block crossings. So for pedestrians, these make up 40% of KSIs. This is the top KSI risk for pedestrians, especially in the suburban context where we have quite a distance between mid-blocks, and there may be reasons such as this photo here showing TTC bus stops and trip generators destinations on either side of the road, and in some cases you might have a kilometer between traffic control signals. So walking to the nearest traffic control signal may be inconvenient. So as part of this one, in 2019, we updated our traffic control warrants and proactive signal deployment, and this is being further updated right now. It's passed through the Environment and Energy Committee, and it will be going to City Council at the next meeting to further update our traffic control warrants with the priority of enhancing safety for vulnerable road users. Working with the TTC, we will do stop consolidations where applicable, stop removals where applicable, or in some cases where a bus stop is operationally important, we will look at countermeasures to enhance the safety at that specific bus stop. So they are a partner that we work through when enhancing mid-blocks. And then models like that macro model of the mid-blocks across the city, we'll use models like that one to identify where our highest risk mid-blocks are, so we can focus our attention on a proactive deployment of mid-block enhancements where we have the highest risk. And here we have, as part of our education and engagement, just a couple examples that we deploy for both local specific. So we have a truck apron poster that goes up where truck aprons are installed, which I'll go over this countermeasure a little later in my presentation. But these are installed locally at locations where these ones are put in. At the top, these are advertisements that are done, or engagement that's done around daylight savings. And then below that one is a safe speeds advertisement that was done for just informing people to travel at the posted speed limit that is on our roads. So you can see that it has the speed limit with red paint or red blood showing that respecting the limit, that going too fast is dangerous, and and these ones are put on billboards, like you can see in that picture, as well as on the backs of buses, transit shelters, and then we do print and media campaigns as well for those. And then on the left, we will highlight specific projects as they're built to inform residents across the city what it is that we are doing and why. So next, I'm going to go over our various programs and initiatives. So on this slide, this is just a high-level overview. I'll be going into certain ones in more detail, but this is just at a very high level what we cover as part of our Vision Zero road safety plan. So if there's any ones from this list that you're interested in that I don't cover in our presentation, you can find them on our website, or bring them up when I'm done the presentation. It's a fairly comprehensive Vision Zero plan, so I won't have time as part of this 1 hour at lunch to go over each element. So to start with, we have school safety zones, and these are put in at every school across the city. This includes flashing beacons. So these are installed on the approach to the school, and this just warns people driving that they are approaching a school zone and to be extra cognizant of school children. The frontages of all schools in 2018 was designated as community safety zones. and this made them applicable for automated enforcement. Digital watch your speed signs are installed in school safety zones, and this will flash when drivers are exceeding the posted speed limit. And then we put in school stencils on the pavement to, again, educate and make drivers aware that they are entering a zone where they can expect to encounter school children. And then we upgrade the crosswalks to zebra pavement marking. So you can see that in the bottom, instead of just the two 10-centimeter lines, we have the thicker white lines going down the middle to increase awareness and visibility of that crosswalk. And then where we're able to, we put in the flexible in-road traffic calming. So these are bollards that serve as both a educational reminder of the posted speed limit, as well as a vertical traffic calming tool that slows vehicles as they're traveling past them through a hardening of the center line. So more information on the community safety zones. We're able to put in the automated speed enforcement. Currently, we have 150 of these cameras across the city. 75, so half of them, are allocated to each ward. So they are rotated about twice a year. And then the 75 that are new this year from 2025, they're allocated citywide based on a data-driven process, some of which are permanent pole-mounted as demand requires. And these are primarily installed near schools. Most of our community safety zones at the moment are based on that 2018 blanket-wide designation, the frontages of all schools. In 2023, we did make a prioritization model to enact community safety zones outside of school safety zones where there is safety concern and an automated speed enforcement camera would be able to enhance safety in that area. You can find on our website a study that was done with Sick Kids Hospital that looked at the efficacy of the automated speed enforcement cameras, and they found a fairly significant reduction in speeding and excessive speeding after the installation of the warning signs and then the placement of the automated speed enforcement camera. And then below that one, we have red light cameras. And these are installed at the moment, 299 intersections across the city. And they take, similar to the automated speed enforcement camera, take a picture of the license plate for any infractions, and they are then mailed to the vehicle owner. On speed limit reductions, so what I covered at the start of the presentation, showing the risk on roads. We started in 2016 prioritizing the major arterial roadways and then the minor arterials. And those ones were a reduction for arterials that were posted above 50 to lower them to 50. There were some exceptions, such as roads through industrial areas or in proximity to the 401. But overall, the vast majority of major and minor arterials were lowered to 50. Collectors that were posted above 40 were lowered to 40. And this all wrapped up in 2020, allowing us to shift our focus then to local roads. So this started at roads that had the highest KSI collisions down to local roads that have the lowest, but lowering the local roads to 30 is currently ongoing. Just to note for these ones, this reduction was a citywide blanket reduction in speed. This doesn't mean that we will not further reduce arterials or collector roads from this blanket wide reduction. These can be investigated by our traffic operations team and brought through with your local counselor. So in some cases, you may have a collector road that maybe operates closer to a local, or it is warranted to further lower that reduction. So that would be done on an individual basis. So to elaborate on our speed limit reductions on local roads, this is what's currently ongoing, and with a planned completion date of 2028. before we had approval to do gateway signage, you'd see signs as you enter a municipality telling you that unless otherwise posted, the speed limit would be typically 50 kilometers an hour. That was updated, and now we can do that gateway signage on a neighborhood basis. So instead of just one set speed limit across the city, we can look at neighborhood level speed limits. So you can see the bottom right, the red lines are the arterial roads. The blue lines in the middle, or the blue line in the middle is a collector, and then the gray roads are the local roads. So as part of this gateway signage, we only have to sign the entries and exits from that neighborhood. So as you enter that neighborhood, you'd see a sign like on the top right there that says maximum 30 area begins. Now, any road that is a local road within that limit is automatically 30. And as you exit that neighborhood onto an arterial or a collector that's posted above 30, you will see a 30 kilometer an hour ends. And this allows us to go through and implement that across the Etobicoke district, North York district, and Scarborough district. Toronto and East York was updated before we had access to gateway signage to 30 kilometers an hour for all local roads. And you can find this on our Vision Zero mapping tool as well for the status of each ward as we work through them. On traffic calming, so the primary piece of traffic calming that we installed across the city are speed humps. And these are what you'll see on a lot of local roads. It's a strip of asphalt installed across the roadway. And these are installed to create an environment where it is uncomfortable to travel above 30 kilometers an hour. The goal to create a consistent travel speed of 30 kilometers an hour to pair with the local road speed limit reductions. But those cannot be installed on collector roads that have TTC volume. So what I have here in the photo is a middle ground where we are able to install traffic calming on these collector roads by putting in a speed cushion. Now, vehicles with a larger wheelbase, such as a bus, can then travel over the speed cushion without going over the bump, but a personal automobile with a shorter wheelbase would go over this hump and have the traffic calming benefit. So these are an additional tool. We did do a pilot project on Tanbridge Crescent. That evaluation was successful, and we are doing a broader implementation through our team as well as some of our other groups within the City of Toronto. So these are typically bundled with planned road work, and we work with the TTC on identifying routes where they may be warranted. And if you're riding your bike, then it means you can also slip through the cracks in the speed cushion. And next we have our fatal vulnerable road user site investigations. So these are in addition to, so this is when we have a fatal collision on our roads. The Toronto Police and Traffic Operations will go on site immediately, and they'll look at the causes for the collision and any quick remediation that can be done, such as enhanced pavement markings or other things that can be done on a quick implementation basis. These fatal vulnerable road user collision site visits, they look at, they include various units within transportation services, as well as the Toronto Police and TTC when the collisions involve a TTC vehicle. And this looks at more long-term recommendations. So what could have been the nature of that fatal collision and what could be done on a long-term basis to enhance the safety and prevent future fatalities at this intersection. And starting in 2024, this became part of our annual reports to council. And here, just a quick slide for our 2024 accomplishments, just to give an idea of what we typically do on a year-to-year basis. So we brought forward 50 new school crossing guards at various schools across the city, 170 new pedestrian head start signals. And this is where the walk sign will go on typically 5 seconds in advance of the vehicle green. We brought forward 70 new school safety zones. Again, what I went over before, 75 new speed enforcement cameras, 27 new traffic control devices. So that includes traffic control signals and pedestrian crossovers, 355 speed humps, 188 mobile watch your speed signs. So these are rotated around every 3 to 6 weeks based on resident requests. And each ward has about 7 signs that rotate within that ward. And in partnership with Toronto Hydro, we upgrade corridors to LED with the eventual plan that all roads in Toronto will be upgraded to LED. These are just priority corridors based on our Vision Zero plan where safety is deemed to be a priority. 81 in-road flex signs were installed in 2024 and 300 kilometers or 296 kilometers of local road speed limit reductions. 26 kilometers of new bikeways and 12 kilometers of new and upgraded bikeways, and 70 locations were either under construction or completed as part of our geometric safety improvements. I'll go into the various elements of our geometric safety improvements in the next portion of the presentation. And then here we have what we're planning to do for 2025. So again, 50 new school crossing guards, 150 pedestrian head starts. The school safety zones, you'll see this in is significantly higher than last year's. The plan is that we are going to wrap up all of our school safety zones citywide by the end of this year. So that includes all of the flashing beacons, watch your speed signs, some of the pavement markings, so the zebra markings and road stencils will carry into 2026. But our plan is that all schools citywide will have a school safety zone by the end of this year. And as well, we are significantly ramping up our speed hump construction. So we're going to be going up to 735 humps are planned for this year. And the next part of our presentation, I'm going to go over some of our geometric improvements. So to start with, for lane widths, when we have the opportunity, we look at lane width reductions. So you can see here on the right, we have Kipling Avenue that had wider vehicle lanes, which can encourage faster vehicle travel. So you had a 4-meter wide curb lane and a 3.5 meter other lane. And then below, we lowered those ones as per our lane width guidelines to minimum. And that helps slow vehicles as they travel along the corridor and has an environmental benefit of increasing the permeable ground for things like rainwater. And you can see on the top two that even though the lanes are wider, it's also just a painted median. So that can also give the presence for drivers to drive at a faster speed because there's nothing stopping them from slightly merging into that lane, whereas in the bottom it's a grass median. On the bottom picture, you can see a multi-use trail as well on the left side. So a bike lane was not part of this project, but in some cases, a painted bike lane is a way to get to these lane width minimums while also providing a safe route for people on bikes to navigate around the city. Going back to that data-driven decision-making at the start, this is just an aerial photo showing our curb radii reductions. So you can see on the left, people driving would be able to take that corner at much greater speeds before the corner radii was adjusted, typically around 5 meters. And you can see the crosswalk, so the crossing distance, the time that a pedestrian would be in the intersection or a person on bike would be traveling past the intersection is significantly reduced. The crossing distance has been lowered and vehicles now take that corner at a slower speed. Here we have a truck apron. So in some cases above, because we design our corner radii for design vehicles, and a personal automobile would be able to take a much tighter corner than, say, a large truck. So in some cases where we can't bring that corner radii to be as tight as we would otherwise like it to be, we can put in a truck apron. And that's the advertisement piece that we post up at all of our, or the education engagement, the poster we put up at all of our new truck aprons. And this is a semi-mountable curb that's installed for a radii that would be applicable to a passenger vehicle, but would allow a larger truck to ride its rear wheels over the truck apron to complete its corner. So if you're a pedestrian, if this is the example below is not at a signalized intersection, but if it is, then you'd wait where the tactile walking surface is and not on the asphalt area. But this just allows us to realize the benefit of a reduced corner radii while also accommodating those larger vehicles that infrequently may need to make that corner when the vast majority of vehicles making that corner would be personal automobiles. We have curb extensions. So you can see in the example below, you have a very typical cross section on the left, and then on the right, we've reduced the crossing distance through building in the curb extension and allowed for an urban garden. So this again increases the permeable area and helps with rainwater, but also it makes our streetscape a lot nicer. And this also formalizes no parking zones. So versus just having signage that tells people driving that they can't park in a certain area, now you have curbs that have formalized that to increase visibility at intersections and enhance safety. And these are typically done as part of road reconstruction projects. So when the road is being ripped up anyway, right through, that we can build it back better and in line with our current design standards for Vision Zero, with a lot of the intersections throughout the city having been built before our current design standards are in place. And these design standards are posted on our website and constantly updated based on changes in industry guidelines or what lessons learned from other cities and jurisdictions. We have raised intersections. So this creates, in essence, a speed hump at the intersection. So this raises the pedestrians as they're crossing the road. This increases visibility for drivers as they approach to see those crossing at the intersection. This again is done during a road reconstruction phase to ensure that the raised crosswalk is at the right level for the crosswalks on either side. And in an example like this one, where it's not an always stop, it means cars turning from the main road onto this local road will also go over a bump, which is a traffic calming tool that lowers vehicle speeds. We have protected intersections that are now being installed throughout the city. Here we have the Papin Donlands intersection before you go over the Millwood Bridge. And you can see the prior configuration on the left. And then on the right, bikeways have been introduced to cross the bridge, and dedicated signal phasing has been included to enhance the safety for all road users as they navigate across. So now pedestrians can get to the south side of the road where it was previously a slip lane. That would not allow someone to cross from the south side to the north side, and the bikeways have bike signals as well as dedicated infrastructure that was not in place prior to installation. And here's another example of a protected intersection. This one at Bloor and St. George, just above U of T. And you can see there's truck aprons put in on the corners, as well as the corner radii has been adjusted to minimums to slow vehicles as they turn. The crosswalks have been widened, and dedicated areas for people on bikes to navigate through the intersection with bike signals that can provide a leading bike interval as well. Next is left turn calming. So this is a mountable median that extends beyond the crosswalk. And as you can see in the visual below, the pink area is the conflict zone. So without left turn calming, more of the crosswalk is a conflict zone for people walking, but also people on bikes as they travel through the intersection. Whereas when you have the left turn calming, which is the photo on the right, cars now have to take a sharper turn as they're going across the intersection. So they're in a better visibility plane as they're turning, but also they're turning at a slower speed. So this enhances safety at intersection and reduces the risks of left turn collisions. And similar to a truck apron, if there's a larger vehicle that cannot complete that tighter corner, they can mount the left turn calming. And then we do a rapid deployment of geometric safety improvements. So a lot of the measures I've gone over here are typically installed as part of a road reconstruction. And these do not happen on every roadway and do not happen, and in some cases, like is in the text below, from identification to final implementation, it can take 3 to 5 years. And that's just coordinating with other partners such as Toronto Water on everything that needs to happen as part of an overall road reconstruction. So what we can do, you can see the photo on the left, the radii has been reduced with paint and bollards. The lane widths have been reduced again with paint and bollards. So this means when that intersection does come up for a reconstruction, it would follow that similar geometry, but we can realize those safety benefits now. So in advance of the construction, we can put in the paint and bollards so that the intersection is safer and we're not just waiting for that road reconstruction event. And then in cases like Avenue Road on the right, more permanent measures have been put in, like low wall jersey barriers, cement blocks to protect pedestrians in the area. So that's the end of my presentation. You can find a lot of the information that I shared today on our Vision Zero website. So we have a mapping tool, and that will show all of our countermeasures that we've put in. It's updated regularly, as well as the Vision Zero dashboard, which shows progress on a lot of our measures. And if you click on each of those, you can see more information in the year-to-year installation. On our website, you'll see on the right panel, we have an email, visionzeroto@toronto.ca. I'm happy to answer any questions after I'm done my presentation. But if any questions come up later or you prefer not to ask them in this forum, feel free to send us an email there. I monitor this inbox along with several of my colleagues, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Awesome. Let's give a wonderful hand to Adam. So thank you, Adam, for all those amazing insights. It's now the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to just raise your hand in the React or up on top if you'd like to speak. Otherwise, just feel free to throw your questions in the chat. I'm happy just to like repeat those questions for you on your behalf. Yeah. So I guess while we're waiting, I guess I'll start off with the first question for you, Adam. In part of the Vision Zero, and I guess awareness is such a big piece of like in the context of like bike lanes, for example, and Bike Month. Is there and what sort of work is being done to kind of like raise awareness of that sort of stuff? Because I see, you know, with Toronto Police, there's like this one amazing person, Aaron, Officer Aaron, who kind of promotes about like, you know, motorists shouldn't be blocking the bike lanes wherever possible. And so I'm wondering if, and part of that work, you know, obviously is to like help with the Vision Zero strategy. Is there anything work that you guys are doing around that awareness piece too?
Yeah, so I just showed a couple examples of what we do on education and awareness, but we have done cycling safety campaigns that again we've put on buses, transit shelters. We've done media blasts around it, and that's just things like how to make a right turn at an intersection, how to use a bike box, and just raising awareness for different pieces of infrastructure. So if you're a person riding your bike around the city, uh, you know how to navigate a right turn, or you know what that bike box is or advanced queuing area. But also for people driving, that you understand that if that person on a bike is in that bike box, that's where they're supposed to be. That if you're making a right turn at an intersection, check for people on bikes, and that goes hand in hand with our infrastructure enhancements. So adjusting corner radii, and those sort of pieces will slow those vehicles as they're making the corner, and then we educate the public on who to look out for, and how to navigate around the city.
Great, thank you for that. We got a question here from Francesca. So I'll repeat. So basically, thanks for sharing all the safety strategies implemented through bike lanes. Really encourages me to use my bike, especially when commuting to work in downtown Toronto. Can you comment on how Vision Zero, and I guess at large, like the city of Toronto, is what are they doing to kind of help push back on the province's position on removing bike lanes?
So I don't work directly on this area, but I can say that Toronto Council did have that meeting and direction in the fall, and our director here in project design and management did go and speak to the province on the importance of bike lanes, and leaving municipal decisions to municipalities. So we will do what we can from a municipal context, but I'm not in those discussions between our municipality and the province on cycling infrastructure. But we'll continue using a data-driven model to do what we can to enhance safety on our roads.
Right, lovely. And then the next question from Leanne, slightly off topic, but very adorable. So, Adam, could you tell us about your career path and how you came to be working in your current position?
So I went to school for urban planning, and through that I did an internship at the City of Toronto, and from there I've jumped through several roles. I've worked on both our cycling and pedestrian group, and then moved to Vision Zero in 2020. Came from a deep passion I have for road safety and multimodal transit system. I don't personally own a car, so I navigate around the city primarily by bike or public transit if I'm traveling around with my daughters.
All right. Perfect. Is there any other questions anyone has? Feel free to raise your hands too, and I'll give you mic access. If not, I'm going to go ahead and actually share my screen because, as I said in the beginning of this presentation, we do have one lucky winner who will win a $20 gift card prize. So without further ado, so I got all the names compiled here for only those that came today. So I'm going to go ahead and spin this wheel. We got Joffrey. All right, Joffrey, congrats to winning. So I'll email you after this presentation to just coordinate about next steps and whatnot. So congrats to Jeffrey. And without further ado, let me go ahead so I'm going to go ahead and launch some poll questions. I apologize, it was the first ones that we launched, but let's reopen it again.
I see one more question. One more question came in while you. So Kimberly asked how costly it is to implement some of these strategies. There's no right or wrong or one cost that goes in across these ones. So something like our quick build safety improvement, because it's just paint and bollards, they're very quick to implement, and not overly expensive. But the reason why I mentioned that we bundle our work with a road reconstruction when it comes to elements such as raised intersections or curb extension is because that allows us to bundle our work with ongoing road work. So, for instance, like a road resurfacing just takes away the asphalt layer, but keeps the curbs in their original location. So we don't have that same flexibility to move the curbs when it comes to radii adjustments. But if that road is having a full reconstruction, everything is being removed, including the curbs, the sidewalks, the concrete base layer, all of that stuff is being removed. Then we have that flexibility and how to put it back when we're done. But if we went into that intersection without that road reconstruction, now Vision Zero would be fronting all of those costs. So the costs would be much higher, which doesn't, to say that doesn't mean we don't do that one. It just means that we would have to have a strong case from a planning and project basis to implement it. And then, yeah, other measures like our school safety zones, in-road flex signs. So some measures are very quick to implement, and some measures are long term, and costs can vary widely based on the scope of work at a specific area.
All right, perfect. Thanks for that question. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen one more time. So what's next? So thank you, Adam, for such a lovely presentation. So Bike Month is, we're only still kind of halfway through the Bike Month already. So please go ahead, go out there, start cycling if you haven't already done so. The weather's super great. And we do have plenty of more webinars happening from the Wellesley Institute, Cycle Toronto. So actually tomorrow we have a basic bike maintenance workshop or webinar from Cycle Toronto, same time, 12 to 1 p.m. So if you're interested in learning how to do bike maintenance on your own bike, come join our webinar tomorrow. Otherwise, we have one more tomorrow, next week. And like always, there's always $20 gift card prizes for one lucky winner. And as always, if you go cycle, go on our SparkCommute app, sparkcommute.ca, and log your cycling trips for a chance to win a $50 gift card prize. And with that, thank you all so much for attending today's webinar presentation. I hope you learned something valuable from Adam and his team. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next fun thing. Thank you all.